Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the British Buctober podcast, where we talk all about the Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is July 3rd. The Pirates have swept the St. Louis Cardinals, their second sweep in a row. That's 6 straight wins for your Pirates of Pittsburgh. Yeah, sure. Anyway, what a time. What a time. 6 straight wins, a ton of things to go over here. They win this one 5-0. And I mean, we looked forward to Mitch Keller, Sonny Gray, and it was as advertised. I mean, this game was good up until the 7th inning. Both pitchers were on. The Pirates were able to get a run in the 2nd inning when O'Neal Cruz led off. Yeah, I think. Maybe not. He did not lead off. There was one out. O'Neal Cruz hits a double. He steals third. Tommy Pham drives him in. Tommy Pham would not be done there. He drove in the first run of the 7th inning as well. Sonny Gray ends up coming out. He's got 2 guys left on base, and they drive all of them in. It's a 4-run 7th. They win 5-0. The Pirates still struck out 9 times in this game. They're going to continue to do that. We understand that the strikeouts are a problem for this offense, but Sonny Gray was good. He gets hit with all 4 of those runs. Kind of unfortunate. But Mitch Keller on the other side, his 12th quality start of the season, tying Paul Skeens for the team lead, which doesn't lead the league anymore, right? Logan Webb has 14, Max Fried, Spencer Schwellenbach, Zach Wheeler, Framber Valdez all have 13, and there's like 5 guys who have 12. But Mitch Keller, 7 innings, 5 hits, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. ERA down to 3.64 now. WHIP, I think, at 1.19. And he surpassed Paul Maholm for the most strikeouts in PNC Park history. He needed 1 to tie, 2 to set it. He did that. 389 now and counting. A record that basically is one that Paul Skeens will probably break in maybe just a couple of years. Maybe by the end of 2027. If Keller gets traded by the end of 2027, that's probably going to be Paul Skeens' record. I mean, if you really think about it, if you do some math, right? 170 last year, 100. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. If you average 200 for the next couple of years, then you've topped it. So anyway, Mitch Keller was great. And, we talk about Keller every once in a while where if you put up a 4 spot, he seems to always give up 3 runs. Well, in this game, they only gave him 1 run and he held him scoreless. Maybe that's the key to getting Mitch Keller's starts back down, like the runs back down. I don't really know. But Santana came in, threw a scoreless 8th. And Isaac Mattson, the game was 5-0. Isaac Mattson had to kind of tightrope out of trouble there in the 9th to finish it off. And to finish off the complete shutout, the series shutout of the St. Louis Cardinals. And the defense has been really good in this stretch too. I mean, we've seen a lot of good plays, and the game yesterday was it's hard to say yesterday because it's like I'm recording this in the middle of the day, some things to do tonight. But there were some jams that Keller had to work out of. Same with Skeens yesterday. And there was a really nice play. A couple from IKF. Spencer Horwitz made a couple really nice plays as he did in the second game of this series. And, more making these big plays just to prevent runs. And even when the game might have been not close, which both of these last 2 were for the most part, even just holding them scoreless, just to be able to say the things that I'm inevitably going to talk about on this show today is it's just better than what we've seen most of the season, specifically early on in the season. So let's talk about a few of these things. I'd brought this during the game. I was looking a bunch of stuff up, and I started bringing this stuff to attention, and then it took a whole new meaning. Other people were running with different things, but the last time the Cardinals were shut out in a 3-game series was 2015, the last 3 games of 2015. And the last time the Pirates shut out a team in a 3-game series was against the Cardinals, but it was in 1976, and it was the last 3 games of the season. It doesn't say much about the Cardinals because even in 2015, they finished with 100 wins and were fine. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily as much on the Cardinals as it is just, the pitching's been really good right now, and the Pirates are on a heater. And when you're playing good and you're doing well, I mean, we've seen some balls fall that haven't been falling for a lot of the season, and that's just because when you're going good, things like that happen, and when you're not, they don't. That's just kind of the way it goes. 6 straight wins since 1901. That is the most runs actually ever. It's the most runs scored in a game when only giving up 4 runs, right? There was an 1884 Red Stockings or something that gave up, or that scored 42 and gave up 4, but that's not 43. 43 runs, only gave up 4. And if I looked back from 1901, the most, by only giving up 4, the most runs were Seattle in 2001 with 36. New York Yankees in 1932 also had 36. And then after that, it's the Pirates in 1972 who scored 35 in that scenario while only giving up 4 runs in 6 straight games. They scored 35. So just really, really interesting. I mentioned before the Mets series, they were at negative 68 run differential. They're now at negative 29. They've got a ways to go, and I don't know that you'll see this team necessarily get above that negative. I don't know if this team will ever get back to 500 this season, but if they have runs like this beyond this one, and depending on how long this one goes, I mean, I talked about the Marlins. They're at 8 straight wins. Now they still play. At the time of recording this, they still have a game tonight. But at game's end, they have an 8-game hitting streak going, or winning streak going. And I think the Pirates are better than the Marlins. So can they do that? Sure, anybody can. I mean, that's the thing, is when you're looking at scenarios like this, it's a historic statistic.
Another little piece of history.
And, this is a team that's going to be under 500. Like, this is baseball. This is the kind of thing that can happen with baseball. We talk sometimes about going into LA and sweeping them a few years ago when we weren't good. But then also, when you're a good team, this kind of thing can happen. Like I said, the Marlins, 8 straight wins right now. They got swept by the Rockies this year. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything can happen in baseball. And that's what makes this game so fun to watch and just so fun to be a fan of, because at any moment, even if you're a bad team, your team can do some things that are fun, and you'll say, I remember that. Or 10 years from now, somebody will get close to this and they'll say, this is the first team to get this close to this since the 2025 Pirates. You know what I mean? It's always something. You just never know. Exciting times. Be a Pirates fan. So from here, to see if they can continue this, they get a day off. Today's Thursday at time of release. They get today off. They'll be back at it
Friday,
and they'll be in Seattle. And Cal Raleigh, who's their whole offense right now, but Cal Raleigh with the home runs, league leading in home runs. That's going to be fun to watch. This team that's preventing all these runs, will they be able to keep Cal Raleigh in play, so to speak? How will they continue to do this? I know Logan Gilbert pitches today, so they won't have him, but who will they go up against? Seattle's got some good young pitching, and so we'll talk about that on the show for Friday. So I'm not going to get into that, but they've got 3 in Seattle against them. They've got 3 against the Royals in Kansas City, and then 3 against Minnesota, and then we're at the All-Star break. So the Mariners are 44 and 41. Now they play in between recording and releasing. All three of these teams do. Kansas City 40-46. Actually, Kansas City and Seattle play each other. And then Minnesota 40-45, who are playing the Marlins tonight. And so you've got two teams that are under 500 right now. And when you look at the Royals and the Pirates, they're very similar teams, very similar. They were very similar last year. I made the point a bunch. If you look at that lineup, they're essentially the Pirates plus Bobby Witt, who makes a huge difference. I mean, was so important for them last year that the rest of the lineup just looked like the Pirates, and yet they made it to the postseason with that. Now, we also mentioned that they were 12-1 against the White Sox and got an opportunity to play them 13 times in a season. And if they just go 500 against the White Sox, they don't make the postseason. So any of that is possible. But anyway, Kansas City, very close. We're at the bottom of the league in home runs. They're right there with us. Actually haven't looked at that actual stat in a minute. And I have it here. I can look it up. If we look at home runs, we are now above the Royals. Now, we've played 2 extra games than the Royals, but we have 61 home runs now. They have 58. So we're talking about, as far as power goes, the 2 bottom teams. As far as runs go, they are the bottom team. The Pirates are now up to 26th because of their offensive outbreak here. But in preventing runs, the Royals are, I did this backwards here. We want the least amount at the top. The Royals are the 5th least team as far as preventing runs. The Pirates are 11th, as both teams have good pitching staffs and are pitching very well right now. So, should be a really good series there. We'll talk about that obviously next week, but it is just interesting to look at the road ahead and to see what this team is about to come up to while they're in the middle of this hot streak, and see how far they can get it going, because they have an opportunity here to actually to have a decent run here, even if it's not, obviously they don't have to go 9-0 on this road trip, but if they can be above 500 on the road trip, even if it's 5-4, that's not really a hot streak, but you go in looking pretty good. Under Don Kelly, guys, Pirates are 26-24. Now that's still last in the NL Central. The NL Central has been good, so that's still last. But since May 18th, now you got to let a new manager kind of get acclimated a little bit. So 10 days into what he's doing there, since May 18th, they're 22-18. You can't argue with that. 22-18. They're playing a lot better baseball. They've gotten some players, be interesting to see what this team would be like if Horwitz and Gonzalez were there from the beginning. And really, if Donnie Kelly was there from the beginning, I mean, why not, right? We know 12-26 or whatever it was, 12-26 or 12-28 with Shelton there, and we called for that in the offseason change to be made, and it wasn't made. And you just wonder, where would this team be? Obviously, you still have the Tommy Pham thing, and I know the contacts are there, but that could go away any minute. The condition that he has, his vision just changes. So we don't know how long that's going to last either. Maybe if there's a team out there calling right now because they see the hot streak, I'd make a move sooner than later. What you don't want is for him to fall back into it and then just end up with a DFA, where if you have any kind of opportunity to move him, although if he's productive right now and you're on a hot streak, do you wait until the hot streak's over if he continues to be productive? There's that too. I don't really know. It'll be interesting. But Donnie Ball's a fun thing, man, and it's been refreshing to see things work out because of managerial decisions. It's totally crazy. Totally crazy. What a fun time. What a fun 6 games. What an exciting brand of baseball to be watching right now. And, let's see how long it lasts. Pirates have a day off, a welcome day off, reflect on what's been done, carry it onto this 9-game road trip and into the All-Star break, and then see what happens as far as trades and stuff. We're going to continue to talk about that as the show goes on, specifically Sunday. I know me and Jake are going to be diving into all those things. So, we'll see how it goes there. But let's play some music and get out of here. Pirates, 6 straight wins. Stay focused. Ride this thing to the All-Star break. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. Let's go Bucks.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks!